You've been through a lot and your brain is back online, and that means you have executive functioning again. Because remember, when you go through a discovery and you're in such shock and partner betrayal, the back of your brain sends messages to the anterior cingulate that then floods the brain with emotions, and your brain can't think. That prefrontal cortex is not able to think. And so it may take a month, 3 months, 6 months, even a year before it comes back online. However, there are some tools and tips that we as clinicians and coaches can give you to help you in your decision making. And one of those is using your head, your intellect, what you think, your heart, how you feel, what your emotions are, and your gut, your intuition, to know what you really do know. Now, I know that as a betrayed partner, you said to yourself, wow, I don't know anything. This happened to me, I didn't know. But now that you do know, you know. And you can begin to depend on that intuition again. So let's go through the formula so I can help you with this. Because it's super simple. You may want to write it down when you have a big decision to make. And then pretty soon it'll be second nature and you'll just do it automatically. Trust me, I do it daily. So, you have a problem and you intellectually think, what can I believe about that? Right? And you write down what your thoughts are. Then you say, emotionally, how do I feel? Now you know me. I say keep it to the famous 5. Mad, sad, glad, afraid, and lonely. So does it make you feel sad? Does it make you feel mad? Are you feeling really isolated and lonely? You get to pick the feeling. Again, that's anger, sadness, happiness, loneliness, and fear, or the kid version. Mad, sad, glad, afraid, and lonely. And then you get quiet, you think about the issue, the problem, and you intuitively ask yourself, what do I know about this situation, and what should I do? And you write out what you intuitively believe is the right answer. And it's absolutely okay to say, I'm not sure. You don't need to be sure, but connect with the inner knowing and write it down and take a look at it. So when I deal with betrayed partners whose husbands are late, and that used to be a time of acting out, the partner may say intellectually, well, what I think is that this is behavior that I saw in the past, and so I believe he could be acting out again. And how do you feel when you have that thought? Well, I'll tell you what, how I feel is scared. Because he looks like he's in good recovery and I want to believe him, but I'm afraid to believe him because I don't want to get duped again. Okay, get quiet. You might even want to close your eyes. And then ask yourself, what do you know? And that will look different in every situation. But if he looks like he's in good recovery, perhaps he's getting regular polygraph tests. Your gut may say, well, intuitively I know that he's not done anything to make me think he's slipped or he's relapsed. And I have a feeling and a knowing that this feeling is more about the past than the present. And intuitively, in working my own personal program, I want to be aware of the possibilities, but I want to live in the present. I don't want to live in the past. and I don't want to fret about the future. I want to live in the moment. So intuitively, I believe that I know that he's given me no grounds to really doubt him. Okay, so intellectually, you're saying, wow, this is behavior he did in the past. Emotionally, you're saying, I feel scared. And intuitively, you're saying, but he's given me no reason to believe that other than he was late. So I would say, since there aren't two that specifically match, and sometimes there are, sometimes what you think is what you know, since there aren't two that match, go with your gut. Okay? And then ask yourself, so what do I need to feel safe? Or what do I need to do to be assured of my choices? I know I always tell my partners, write the situation down and put it in that book that you save for polygraph questions. Maybe this is a question you're going to want to have the polygrapher ask. You know, when you were late on January 8th, were you acting out? Okay, that's one way to give you evidence that your intuition is right or it's wrong. I believe that your knowing, your intuition comes straight from God. And I know you're afraid to trust yourself again. But when post-traumatic growth occurs, you begin to exercise that muscle of intuition. Your brain's back online, you're feeling safer, and so you start trusting your gut. Okay, let's take one more example. And let's just say that you're wondering if you should be more physically intimate with him now. You're in post-traumatic growth, he's in good recovery, and your head says, I think I'm ready, but emotionally, I'm scared. And that fear is blocking my open heart. Well, that makes sense to me. You think you're ready. That's what you intellectually believe. Your heart is scared. Of course it is. You know, it's the most sacred place you can go with your husband or wife, depending on the betrayal. And you don't want to get duped again. So get quiet and reflect. What do you intuitively know? And many partners will say, well, my intuition says that I need to take that next step forward to see if we can rebuild this relationship and create real intimacy. Or maybe your gut says, you know what? What I know intuitively is that I need to talk to him about my fears. You know, I've been pushing him away, but I haven't told him that I feel vulnerable and I'm scared. And that's what I need to do. So, when you follow through with your intuition, it may be that you need some boundaries. And when you're looking at physical intimacy, that may mean I will allow you to rub my back, and I will allow you to caress me, but I'm not ready for intercourse yet. Or maybe you intuitively think to yourself, you know, I'm ready. I believe I'm ready. But if you hear me say stop, or you see me do this, you have to stop immediately, because that may have meant that I've changed my mind. Now, what boundaries would you have for the husband that was late? Because intuitively, you're trusting him, but you don't want to get duped again, right? That might look like, you know you are supposed to call me and let me know you're going to be late. And now, I'm going to ask you to keep your phone on so that I can call you at any point of the day or evening, and I'm going to ask you to take screenshots. Or there may be a consequence. If you're late and you forget to call me, that tells me I'm not important enough to you. So I'm going to want you to sleep in the basement tonight, because I just need a little separate time to decide what I need to do to reestablish safety for me. And women in post-traumatic growth, and men, why they have great boundaries, great consequences, and they're able to make healthy decisions. And the truth of the matter is that we don't always make the right decision, regardless of partner betrayal, regardless of intimate deception. There are times we get it wrong. Give yourself permission to have grace and not have to get everything right. Okay, I want you to start using your head, your heart, and your gut to help you make decisions. And by the way, one more thing. The 3-part system, well, the heart is going to get you in trouble the most. Your emotions are going to get you in trouble. So I'm not saying not to listen to what you emotionally need or want, because that is a big factor in having post-traumatic growth. But I am going to say that it's important that if your head and your gut are connecting and saying pretty much the same thing, you better trust those two, because that will be more insurance that you're listening to yourself and you're making a good decision. I'm Carol Jurgensen Sheets. Thanks for listening.